Ghana Means Business, brought to you by Goil. Goil, good energy.
Ghana Means Business. Your story, our message.
All too soon, the year has come to an end, and we indeed are survivors. Despite the ravages of the pandemic of COVID-19, we are still here today. This evening, it is a privilege to present to you the year in view of Ghana Means Business, your apolitical, factual, and unbiased show. This program wouldn't have been possible without our numerous viewers and our cherished sponsors, notably Girl Company Limited, GIPC, and our major media partners. We are grateful to Ghanaians, we are grateful to the whole world all over for being a constant supporter of this great program. Tonight, for those who missed most of our interviews during the year, sit back and enjoy various snippets of the interviews that we have throughout the year. We also promise you in the coming year in 2022, exciting interviews with notable personalities that is going to bring joy, education, and information in your homes. To God Almighty, Ghana Means Business says, we are indeed grateful. I am your host, Nana Fredua Ajimai Pambuo.
Ghana Means Business. Your story, our message.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goil Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goil Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goil Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Ghana Means Business. Your story, our message.
Mr. Mata, what is the main function of the ARB Apex Bank?
The ARB Apex Bank was established some 18 years ago to provide clearing services. For that I mean clearing of checks, services to the rural and community banks. They provide specie services to the clearing rural and community banks. They provide training to the rural and community banks, and we also host their data. So the rural and community banks, their data, their customer data, everything is hosted by the ARB Apex Bank.
So you serve essentially as a mini central bank?
Yes, we are the mini central bank for the rural and community banks. Even though the rural and community banks set up the ARB Apex Bank to provide these functions, especially when they were having challenges in the past to have their checks cleared and for specie movements as well. These specie movements, when the banks have excess cash, they must have a place to send, and that's where they bring the cash to our branches in the regions. ARB Apex Bank provides this cash management, and when they also have more cash, we go for the cash. When they need cash, we send them cash to be able to serve their customers.
Absolutely. On that note, what is the total number of depositors that all the rural banks serve?
We have over 6 million.
6 million?
Yeah, depositors, 6 million accounts.
As in customers' accounts?
As in
individual
customers.
Accounts?
Yes, over 6 million. And we say that we have more customers than all the universal banks
Absolutely.
put together.
Absolutely.
6 million is a huge number.
That is true.
From where we sit, we don't look at ourselves as regulators.
No.
We look at ourselves as service providers
Absolutely.
for the rural and community banks. That's why in realigning our vision, we told ourselves that we should be the most effective and the most efficient service provider to the rural and community banks.
Absolutely.
We have reoriented ourselves from a regulatory mindset to a service provision mindset, because we feel where we are, we need to serve the rural and community banks to be able to serve their customers.
Absolutely.
If we fail in that, we will be failing the rural economy. And ARB Apex Bank and the rural banks cannot afford to fail the rural economy.
Absolutely. In your opinion, how conducive is the business climate in Ghana, especially for Germans and people within the European Union who are still sitting out there with this perception of Ghana and the rest of Africa?
Yeah, I think you have touched upon a very important question indeed. After 3.5 years here in Ghana, I must say that certainly the interest of the German business community, of German businesses doing business here in Ghana is growing. We had just last year, February 2019, we had for the first time in West Africa the so-called German Africa Business Summit here in Accra with more than 800 participants, most of them business and political leaders from Germany here in Accra. A huge success, and for the first time I would say Ghana as a hub for opportunities has really been anchored on the radar screen of German businesses. And we have to continue to do that. And I think Ghana has actually a lot to offer. Ghana is perfectly located to serve as a kind of hub for the entry in the whole West African market here. You are a stable democracy. The macroeconomic numbers of Ghana have improved considerably over the last years. Ghana is now one of the fastest growing economies, not only in Africa, but in the world.
If you flip it on the other hand, are there also opportunities for Ghanaian investors in Germany? If so, what areas can they look at?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, you think, of course, about the traditional export markets for agri-business, you know, for fruits and vegetables coming to the European market. We have a couple of small German investments here in this country who export, for instance, pineapple, mango, and so to German supermarkets. But, and this is very important, as we are in the 21st century now, what is now starting is that a lot of German companies are looking to especially Ghana as a place for investment for digitization projects. So there are German companies who are interested in outsourcing part of their IT work to a country like Ghana. And I think this is a very promising development that we want to foster and to strengthen.
Excellent. Ghana and Great Britain have a history going back since the 18th century. And the warm reception that Ghanaians have for the United Kingdom was evident in 1961 when Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II came to Ghana. The rapturous reception she received was unparalleled in our history. And I think she came back again in 1999. Since then, a lot of the members of the royal family have come to visit Ghana. What is this relationship between the royal family and Ghana?
It's a good question. We had His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales here in 2018. And we also had the Earl of Wessex's brother, Prince Edward, here at exactly the same time, which was a good challenge for my team and I. And we've had the Princess Royal here. You're right, I mean, there's been many royal visitors. I think it's because there is a very deep affinity to this country. And the royal family in many ways embody the UK in terms of not the political leadership, but the values for which the country stands, and the importance, I think, of friendship, of long-term ties about looking towards a future which is built on often shared values. So when one thinks of the UK, you think of often tradition, rich culture, often embodied through the royal family. I think when you think of Ghana, we think of the tradition, the rich culture, often embodied through many of the traditional leaders.
There's a lot of shared value.
So I think there's a lot of real shared common interest there. And I have to say, it's been having the Prince of Wales visit while I've been High Commissioner has been easily one of the highlights of my time here. I will forever remember going up to see a Chimfo at his palace and the Durbar in Kumasi. It was incredible, absolutely unforgettable. And I know the Prince of Wales felt the same way. The whole visit was sensational, but there's something about ultimately countries they're led by, or they at least comprise people, and it's the people-to-people connections that really matter. And somehow, I'm pleased to say that our people seem to click.
In 2020, there was the UK Africa Summit, which His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, Ghana's president, attended. I'm sure there were a lot of trade, investment, business interactions. Has there been any follow-ups? Are there any success stories after that in terms of the private sector? Has there been any meaningful and concrete success stories that one can point out to say that arising out of this summit, this is what came out of it?
Yeah, no, so 100%. So I think there's a number of really quite specific, I'd say, deals came through on the back of it, but beyond that, a lot of kind of proper discussion between heads of state, between President here and our Prime Minister, about what our real priorities are, so we can organise our government effort and our private sector effort accordingly. But on the first part about where we've seen progress and real change, in Kumasi, GhMeansBiz market is out of the ground. We're seeing it coming out of the ground. If you look at Kumasi Airport, there's a brand new terminal, there's a new runway. These things are being done deliberately. Why? Because we really do believe that Kumasi is an essential, really important second city. It's all itself a regional hub.
GhMeansBiz market,
Yeah.
Kumasi Airport,
Yeah.
and I think GE Oil and Gas UK
Yep.
with Cape 3 Points.
Yep.
These are all projects that are being financed by UK companies
So
or
yes.
the UK government.
So it's a combination of both. So what they're being funded by, in a large part, is through drawing on UK export finance. And I think this is one of the keys, to us getting more and more closer proximity. So UK export finance is ostensibly saying that the UK government's, with the Treasury sitting behind it, is AAA rated. So we are standing behind the government of Ghana on these UK export finance credits guarantees. So the best way I can describe it to people is if companies are trying to borrow money here in Ghana, the interest rate can be 20%, 25% higher, arguably. But when we have UK export finance sitting behind it, we are able to kind of really massively reduce that credit risk and take 10 percentage points and more often off the kind of cost of borrowing, which means that projects that are otherwise too expensive to fund become affordable. And what we do on the kind of side of that is that we ask for 20% UK content, but what we are finding is that actually, in the case of GhMeansBiz market, it's cheaper to be buying steel from the UK than it is to be buying steel from China. But without this kind of way of getting engaged, I think people were instinctively thinking we have to get this from China, we have to get this from somewhere else. And we're saying actually there may be better options, you must look around. But actually trying to bring more UK supply chain in where it's kind of effective and good value to do so is key. But it's the financing, I think, that unlocks it. So GhMeansBiz market's a good example, the airport's a good example, Tamale Airport is another good example. We're also looking at building about a £300 million water processing facility up in Yapi. So there's a range of projects, not all of them through UK export finance, but where we're starting to now see, I think, really great companies. And they're not coming here deploying a workforce. They're not coming here, they're working in partnership, building capability, capacity in Ghana, where we're drawing on, say, I don't know, some project management expertise, structural management expertise, steel that is not currently available in country, and doing that with Ghanaian companies, with local partners, and making it happen. So I think there are real success stories that have come out of the investment summits.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goil Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goil Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goil Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Ghana means business. Your story, our message.
As the ambassador being in Ghana, what have you observed to be areas that Ghanaian businesses or Ghanaian businessmen can also look in terms of exporting to Morocco?
Absolutely, there are so many. I think Morocco is very welcoming to foreign investors. We encourage African investors. So, like
specifically, what is in Ghana that is not in Morocco that we can export there?
For example, just on the top of my head, it's cocoa, for example.
Cocoa.
Cocoa.
Okay.
For example, we in Morocco have to import this from I don't know where, from Latin America or.
From Brazil.
From Brazil, instead of getting it from Ghana, that is only 4 hours away from, with the very better quality.
Sure.
So cocoa is one of the things. Fruits.
What kind of fruits?
The pineapples,
mangoes,
and we don't have.
We have guava.
The jackfruit. You know where do we get this?
Avocado.
Avocado. Where do we get these fruits from? From Latin America.
You're getting your pineapples.
Yes.
Your cocoa. Your avocado.
Yes.
Your
pineapples.
And pineapples. Yes. You're getting all this from Latin America. When it's only 4 hours away from Ghana.
Absolutely.
And you consume them in high quantities?
We do. Moroccan people are very curious. They want to discover things that are not grown in Moroccan soil. They want to have this exotic tastes that they are used to having oranges and apples and bananas. We also grow some types of Moroccan bananas in Morocco. But they want to discover these pineapples, mangoes, and they are keen on it. But when we import them from these very far countries, because of the ways these things are packed and the time they took in arriving to Morocco, there is no taste at the end of the day. And when you eat these fruits, it doesn't convey the real taste of the fruits, as if you here in Ghana we buy pineapples at the streets and we can taste them, and it has the real without the pesticide and without these preservatives and whatever they put on the. So whenever I receive in the residence any delegation from Morocco, I made it a duty to just present these fruits of Ghana and tell the people that this is real pineapple, not the canned one, not the one coming from
Latin America.
Lands.
Yes.
So I think this should be should be an economic priority for the Ghanaian businessman to explore, because there is a huge market in Morocco for it.
Well, folks, you've heard the ambassador herself telling Ghanaians that Morocco is open for business, just like Ghana is also ready for business. And that Ghanaians in the pineapple industry, in the avocado industry, in the cocoa industry, Morocco is open and ready for business, including mangoes too. Excellency, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
There's a saying that business and politics is like fuel and water. They don't mix. Can the same be said, or can the same hold true in Ghana for local indigenous businessmen who venture into politics?
I think that for a developing country like Ghana, both political parties, both the major political parties, should have in mind that one of their roles is to help grow Ghanaian entrepreneurs. And therefore, whether the business person has a political hat or not, our responsibility is to make sure that their businesses succeed, as long as they are doing genuine business. Because it is the business people with entrepreneurial talents, that are going to see opportunities, invest, create jobs for the youth. Because, look, the youth in Africa, they are going to be many. Either we have them as a stabilizing factor, providing the man and woman power for driving our economies, or they become a disruptive force in our society.
Absolutely.
So if we look at it that way, all of us have an important role in growing our business. Forget it, even if they have political colors. And then we should also have an eye out for the crooked businessmen who wear political tags. You see them today, they are NDC. You see them tomorrow, they are NPP. Those are the dangerous ones. But the business people, all of us should support them.
Excellency, one of the things that you did immediately after coming in, and I don't know whether it was one of the lessons you learned from Dr. Buzier's regime, was you went HIPIC.
Oh, yeah.
Was looking at things in retrospect, was it the best decision, and why did you take Ghana HIPIC?
Well, it was the best decision in the sense that there wasn't an alternative to HIPIC. HIPIC was there before we came to. The economy had run aground. We were so heavily laden with debt, which we couldn't even service. Even our sister country, Nigeria, had blacklisted us because we couldn't pay for the crude oil they supplied us. So if you would remember, there were long queues at filling stations.
Yes.
TOR wasn't working. And by the term of office, it was only 4 years. So when we came in and we were resolved, I had told the people, we'll usher in the golden age of business and so forth. You come in, you go into the Bank of Ghana, empty, find, and 4 years, I didn't want to fall flat on my face. No. We tried first to talk our way through the resistance from creditors, but everywhere we turned, we were met with a block. And it was, and this thing that I had traveled to Bamako on some conference, which was attended by the then managing director of IMF, Hochkoller, who later became president of Germany.
Yes.
And then Wolfenson, who was president of the World Bank. And Claire Short, who was defeat minister from Britain, the three of them. There were other presidents from around West Africa. And I was the new boy on the block. So they cornered me, the three of them. They started to prime me to tell them my policies, what I would do. And of course, I rattled, we are pro-business. They looked, the two gentlemen didn't say much. They were listening, and I knew they were sizing me up. But the lady,
Claire Short.
After listening for a while, I said, look, if you tell the truth about your economy, then you may get some help. But if you don't tell the truth, for pride or whatever, then nobody would help you. And so I said, suppose I tell the truth and I still do not get the help. You know what would happen? So I said, I assure you, if you should tell the truth, my government will do whatever to help you out of. It registered with me. And then Hochkoller, the IMF man, butted in and said, look, if you do the right policies, I assure you, whatever I can do to assist you, I would. So I came back to Ghana armed with this. And I confronted my cabinet and economic advisors. Nobody wants to go HIPIC. Give me alternatives. Tell me how we can get the resources to do the things we want to do. They tried that. Nobody wanted HIPIC, but nobody had a viable alternative. That was what, in a way, forced me to tell my finance minister then, at cabinet, go to parliament, tell the parliament that I had decided to take the HIPIC initiative.
On January 2nd, 3rd, and so on, when we met to assess the situation, was what we called critical support to Rawlins's coup, to the revolution. In other words, we thought that it provided opportunities for certain transformations in the country's political, social, economic, cultural order.
Were your hopes and aspirations met?
As a member of that political organization, no. So in 1985, we felt that the PNDC was no more representing the revolutionary ideals or opportunities that people thought it had at what used to be the Accra Community Center. We came out publicly at a press conference to dissociate ourselves from the PNDC because we felt that we read that it was no more representing change in this country. Yes, so that's what was meant by critical support. We'll support it when it was making some transformative changes, criticize it when it was not doing so, or become totally independent when we thought it had abandoned, any attempts at revolutionary change or transformation in the social economic order of the society.
For most startups, Specialized is a startup. Are there any peculiar strategies, not just with Specialized in particular, but for most startups, are there any core strategies that helps them to become much more successful, as opposed to most startups having a percentage of about 60% who tend to fail? What is the key strategic factor for successful startups?
I'll talk about startups in terms of my industry.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. If I look at Specialized, as a startup, my idea with this startup was to make sure that we have an international competitive brand. It's as simple as that. And I expect that other companies and other industries and to have that kind of mindset where you want to have a product that you see it on the shelf and somebody would say, oh, is this foreign? So you want to come up with a very unique product. You want to have a very attractive product on the market. You want to make sure that what you're putting on the market is not just for the Ghanaian market, but then it's something that can reach out to other countries as well. And then you can have all the foreigners coming in here and then thinking that, yes, there's a product as good enough as any foreign product. Well, frankly, if you ask me, the import of foreign mineral water into this country has really gone down.
That is true.
In actual fact, they cannot compete.
I think so.
Because we stand out as good as they are.
If you want it right, you will need to invest in the best equipment possible. You have to maintain the best standards. You have to employ the best quality people and use the best filtration systems. So if somebody is cutting corners, he will put out a product and still certify it as natural mineral water, but it may not necessarily meet the standard that the industry is used to.
There's natural mineral water and there's premium drinking water.
Explain that to me.
Those coming from boreholes, which are being filtrated through these RO system, reverse osmosis systems and all that, are the natural mineral water brands. And then there's one that you use in the municipal water where it's also filtered and all that, and that is a premium, they call it premium drinking water and all that. So
is that what you find more in the sachets or?
No, not necessarily. I mean, even the bottled water, some of them, those ones that they don't write natural mineral water, means they're using municipal water.
Okay, and then they treat it.
They treat it and then they put it out. Some of them, they say they enhance it with minerals, which I don't know. But I just know for sure that when it comes to quality, we are all being regulated by Food and Drugs. So I don't expect that quality is actually the problem. The problem has to do with pricing and trying to be on the market.
Safina water, which I thought was such a great product. I loved it. Why do you think Safina failed?
Safina, it was actually a great product. At a point in time, I remember Vortic wanted to buy Safina because we had put out something that the cost of production and everything was much better than even Vortic, and then they decided to buy, but well, we didn't want to sell. It has to do with the shareholder wrangling here and there, and that is what brought the company down. It has nothing to do with the business itself.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I actually came up with the whole design, the naming of Safina and everything. But
so why Safina? What made you choose that name?
That is Noah's Ark in Swahili.
Oh, I see. I see. I see.
But I mean, I think just boardroom shareholder wranglings.
Tragedy. Because I used to really enjoy that. Yeah. It was such a great product.
It was actually competition for Vortic, a lot of competition for Vortic, and they were prepared to buy it and kill it.